Lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights in India have evolved in recent years. However, Indian LGBT citizens face certain social and legal difficulties not experienced by non-LGBT persons. The country has repealed its colonial-era laws that directly discriminated against homosexual and transgender identities and also explicitly interpreted Article 15 of the Constitution to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. But many legal protections have not been provided for, including same-sex marriage. Transgender people in India are allowed to change their legal gender post-sex reassignment surgery, under legislation passed in 2019, and have a constitutional right to register themselves under a third gender. Additionally, some states protect Hiras, a traditional third gender population in South Asia, through housing programs, and offer welfare benefits, pension schemes, free operations in government hospitals, as well as other programs designed to assist them. There are approximately 480,000 transgender people in India. In 2018, in the landmark decision of Navtej Singh Johar v. Union of India, the Supreme Court of India decriminalized consensual homosexual intercourse by reading down Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code and excluding consensual homosexual sex between adults from its ambit. Despite strong political movements in favor of LGBT rights, there remains a significant amount of homophobia present among the Indian population, with around 1 in 4 Indians objecting to same-sex relationships according to an opinion poll. In the 2010s, LGBT people in India increasingly gained tolerance and acceptance, especially in large cities. Hinduism acknowledges a third gender, or a hermaphrodite. There are certain characters in the Mahabharata who, according to some versions of the epic, change genders, such as Shikandi, who is sometimes told to be born as a female but identifies as male and eventually marries a woman. Bahachara Mata as the goddess of fertility, worshipped by Hiras as their patroness. The Naradasmrta and the Sushruta Samhita, two important Sanskrit texts relating to Dharma and medicine, respectively, declare homosexuality to be unchangeable and forbid homosexuals from marrying a partner of the opposite sex. The Naradasmrta lists 14 types of panda and the Urshaka, bisexuals, transgender and intersex people. The Sushruta Samhita and the Charaka Samhita delve further into the issue of homosexuality, stating that homosexuals are conceived when the father's semen is scanty and transgender people are conceived when the father and mother reverse roles during intercourse. However, in another Hindu text, the Manusmriti, there are various punishments for homosexuality. Girl who had sex with other girls were punished with 200 coins and 10 whiplashes. A mature woman having sex with a girl was punished by having her head shaved or 2 of her fingers cut off, and she was also made to ride on a donkey. In the case of homosexual males, the Manusmriti dictated that sexual union between 2 men brought the loss of caste. In the Arthashastra, a 2nd century BCE Indian treatise on statecraft, homosexual intercourse was treated as an offense, although several kinds of heterosexual intercourse were punished more severely. Devdutt Pattanayak summarizes the place of homosexuality in Hindu literature as follows. Though not part of the mainstream, its existence was acknowledged but not approved. The Hindu Khajuraho temples, famous for their erotic sculptures, contain several depictions of homosexual activity. Historians have long argued that pre-colonial Indian society did not criminalize same-sex relationships, nor did it view such relations as immoral or sinful. Hinduism has traditionally portrayed homosexuality as natural and joyful, though some texts do contain injunctions against homosexuality, namely among priests. Al-Biruni wrote that Hindus greatly disapproved of homosexuality. During the Mughal Empire, a number of the pre-existing Delhi Sultanate laws were combined into the Fatwa-e-Alamgiri, mandating a common set of punishments for zina which included homosexuality. These could include 50 lashes for a slave, 100 for a free infidel, or death by stoning for a Muslim. Codification of criminalization of homosexual activity was enacted by Section 377 by the British, which stood for more than 70 years after Indian independence. The Goa Inquisition once prosecuted the capital crime of sodomy in Portuguese India, but not lesbian activity. whereas the British Raj criminalised anal sex and oral sex under Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, which entered into force in 1861, and made it an offence for a person to voluntarily have carnal intercourse against the order of nature. Scholars have also argued that the original intention of Section 377 was to act as a means by which the British Raj could further police and control the body of the colonial subject.